Cybertron! Arise! Optimus Prime.
I'm just going to come right out and say it. Transformer 1, the visuals for this animated story of the origins of Optimus Prime and Megatron, well, they're actually pretty good. Just because the visuals were good doesn't mean there aren't any problems with this movie, and there are a few problems. I guess the real question that needs to be asked here was this movie necessary? The origin story of Optimus Prime, Orion Pax, and Megatron, also known as D16.
We were given the power to change our world, and you chose to destroy it. Just like Sentinel, you have betrayed Cybertron and its citizens. And you betrayed me.
On paper, the 2024 film Transformer 1 may have been a very good idea, but I'm sorry, the execution of this story is really a letdown in my opinion. It completely destroys the whole purpose of the Transformers from Generation 1 all the way into the movies. The premise of the story was very simple. Megatron and his Decepticons would go ravaging Cybertron for all its energy till it was basically an empty shell of itself, and Optimus Prime, in a desperate attempt to save his Autobots and rebuild Cybertron, goes off to another planet to find energy to revitalize Cybertron. And that basically is the premise here. From that point on, Megatron and Optimus, they're at a war with each other and the Decepticons and the Autobots.
But the brutal Decepticons were driven by a single goal: total domination. They set out to destroy the peace-loving Autobots, and a war between the forces of good and evil raged across Cybertron, devastating all in its path, draining the planet's once rich sources of energy.
Right from the very beginning, all the way up to Michael Bay's Transformer live-action movies, we had basically the same premise over and over again. The Decepticons would wage their war against the Autobots and ravage Cybertron of all its energy. The Autobots would escape to Earth, and there they would find allies and energy sources to help revitalize Cybertron, and the Decepticons would be there to try and stop them. This is the same premise, as I said, over and over again and through various cartoon series and movies. But when then Transformer 1 comes along, it completely changes the whole story around, and it absolutely makes no sense.
Hey, Megatron is Prime, nice.
Oh, yeah, well, he's my hero.
The greatest Prime to ever live.
I'm D16.
Orion Pax.
You ever mine Energon before?
No, you?
No. I hear it's dangerous.
I'll tell you what, you watch my back, I'll promise to watch yours.
All right. Thanks, Pax.
This is where things get a little confusing for me, because when I'm trying to do a little research into Transformers 1, it tells me that this is the origin story. It's a standalone origin story of the beginnings of Optimus Prime and Megatron before the war on Cybertron and before they became arch enemies. This is the story of Orion Pax and D16. And the problem that I have with this is this origin story. It's a story that's been told over and over again, not necessarily with the Transformers, but it's the basic story that we're talking about that has been repeated over and over again. You have the best of friends at the beginning of this, and something rips them apart, and now they become arch enemies. Except in this particular case, in my opinion anyway, it doesn't work here. The idea of an entire planet filled with sentient robots that have been deceived by Sentinel Prime in his attempt to gain access to the matrix of leadership, and at the same time selling Energon to the Quintessons, it's a weak story. I mean, the idea that an entire planet filled with robots, not a single one of them wants to question what happened to the Primes, and why are they suddenly drilling for Energon when the planet used to be filled with it, and all of a sudden, once the matrix of leadership is gone, that energy goes away. Nobody questions it except for Orion Pax. He's the only one out there who's, in some cases, a very naive character, but he's the only one out there questioning what happened.
My friends, my Cybertronian family. It has been precisely 50 cycles since the Quintessons attacked our home. 50 cycles since we lost the Matrix of Leadership and our energon supply dried up. 50 cycles.
An entire planet filled with robots that absolutely just adore Sentinel Prime and listen to every single word he says without questioning it. It's a very kind of a weak story as far as I'm concerned. It just really doesn't hold up. But what makes it even worse for me, how they dumb down the characters, at least some of these characters, really bothers me. Bumblebee is a clear example here. They dumbed down this character so much. He's more of a follower than he is anything else. When in the original, and even in the movies, Bumblebee was a badass. He actually would stand up. He would fight. This guy's a follower. He's a tag-along, and he gets a little annoying after a while. One of the real problems with the Transformer 1 movie is how D16 slowly becomes Megatron. Each time he gets a new transformation cog installed in him, he becomes darker, more villainous. And it's just silly how it happens. Well, in one way, he's right because he feels betrayed. His entire life, he's been led to believe that this Sentinel Prime was out there defending Cybertron, and he was out there trying to find the Matrix and defeat the Quintessons. When he learns that his entire life is a lie, he slowly begins to change, and the transforming cogs just reinforce the rage that's in him. It brings it to the surface.
Please! I beg you!
Stop! D! He's not the enemy!
Bear witness! This is the last time I show mercy. Decide right now. You can stay here in hiding, bowing before your pathetic leader, or follow me as we march on Iacon and I take down Sentinel once and for all!
We get to watch D16 transform into Megatron basically because of all the rage. We also get to watch a very naive Orion Pax, who just seems to think that he can continuously talk to D16 and make him see reason. He is not seeing what's happening to D16 and how he is slowly transforming into a darker person. But this really isn't the problem. The character development between the two characters, Orion Pax and D16, is really not my issue in all of this. Here's the real problem with Transformers 1, the Matrix of Leadership, and what the writers did here. They took the Matrix of Leadership, which was supposed to be a device that held all the knowledge of the ages, all the wisdom of former Autobot leaders, primes, and infused their wisdom into this thing, and then whenever the next Autobot would become a prime, they would inherit that knowledge. But in this case, this thing has more power than the original Matrix of Leadership ever did.
No. Why? Why did you do that? Why?
The original Matrix of Leadership instills the holder, the one that it chooses to be the next prime, with the wisdom of the previous primes. This Matrix of Leadership not only instills the next prime with the wisdom of the ages, it repairs the body. Megatron blew Orion Pax half of his upper body away. It was destroyed. And then when he is infused with the Matrix, it rebuilds every aspect of his body. Not only that, but this thing seems to be quite magical and at the same time a bit evil in how it handles situations. See, the story is that when the Matrix of Leadership vanished, all the energon around Cybertron completely dried up, forcing all the people of the planet to suffer and have to drill for what little they could of energon. But now that the Prime has the Matrix of Leadership again, energon starts flowing throughout the whole planet. The Matrix starts bringing energon back to the whole planet, which to me damages the whole story of the Transformers. The main reason that the Autobots and the Decepticons left Cybertron is because of the lack of energy on their planet. They were desperate to find new sources to revitalize their homeworld. But this story completely changes that whole narrative around. There is no reason for the Decepticons or the Autobots to ever leave Cybertron because they have all the energy they need right there as long as the Matrix is intact, which kind of, in my opinion anyway, defeats the whole purpose of the Transformers in the first place. Their war and the lack of energy on Cybertron. It just is pointless now. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this. What do you think of Transformers 1? Did you think it was a good story? Did you like the origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron? Or are you like me and just thinking to yourself, this thing really didn't need to be made? Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments, so please drop those comments below and let me know. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.